Were you around real estate
No,
that you grew up, or was your husband around real estate that
no.
where were you, where did this come from? Like normal, but average 23-year-olds are not thinking at 23, we should buy a quad.
My husband is not a normal person. And so that's one of the reasons why I was attracted to him, right? And so my husband's always been a big visionary. And so he's never no, and like you were asking me, right? Were my parent like was I involved around anyone that was no. Neither me or my husband really were. The only person that maybe a little bit, right? So we're from Colombia and my father and mother-in-law like in their country, they had like maybe like 2 or 3 apartments,
Yeah.
but nothing here, right? So we were never like seeing that here. We weren't around flippers. We weren't around people that were
So
had
when you
rentals. We
so
no.
when you went to the bank and you're like, and how is your husband your age?
He's 1 year older than me. He's
Oh,
31.
yeah. Okay, so this is like a joke. A 23 and 24-year-old walk into a bank for a mortgage for a
Yeah.
quad. Like, how was that?
So my agent, who I knew personally, she was like, "This is the first like multifamily property I've ever sold." She always sold homes, right? That's what people typically are looking for when they're buying their first property. But we're like, yeah, we're a little different. So yeah, people were surprised when in our church when we said that we had bought that. People would come up to us and be like, because people weren't doing that. It just wasn't I
Like
didn't know what house
when?
hacking was it wasn't a term and it literally just came from my husband's idea, right? He thought, we knew plenty of people, right? I'm Hispanic. So I knew plenty of people that had a house and maybe in their garage they had an efficiency. And, right? Like that is like what they know as a rental, right? And so my husband just thought, okay, well, if I buy a duplex, I don't know how the thought entered his mind, but it was his idea. And he's like, well, if I buy a duplex, it's like another, so we'll do. And so the funny thing is, Beth, is that my husband and I we're about to be under contract on a triplex and before the quad. And I didn't sign fast enough. Okay. And the owner decided I'm going to sell to a cash buyer. And so my husband was so mad at me because he's like, the triplex, and the triplex was a wood frame. Okay, now I didn't know this back then. It was a wood frame property. Okay, three. And then we found the quad, I don't know, like a couple weeks after. It was the same owner. The same owner from the triplex was the same as the quad. And I was like, oh my God, this is a small world, right? And I'm like, aren't you glad that I didn't sign for the triplex? Because one more door, you know how much beneficial one more door is in the same roof? So I still tell him that